The Saturday evening had been planned for weeks. Claire Bennett, a 37-year-old marketing manager in Seattle, had spent the entire day preparing their suburban home for the dinner party. The table was dressed with new linens, candles were arranged neatly, and the aroma of roasted chicken and rosemary potatoes filled the house. She wanted everything perfect, not just for her friends, but for her husband, Daniel. But just an hour before the guests were due to arrive, as Claire stood in the kitchen adjusting her dress, Daniel walked in with a smirk. He leaned against the counter, looked her up and down, and said coldly, "You look like a fat pig in that dress. I hope you don't embarrass me tonight." The words sliced through Claire, leaving her stunned. She had lost count of the subtle insults over the years, comments about her body, her career, or her choices. But hearing it right before welcoming friends into their home made her feel like the ground had been pulled from beneath her feet. For a moment, she thought about snapping back, screaming even, but instead she stayed silent. Her throat tightened, her palms trembled, but she didn't let a single word out. She turned back to the oven, pretending to check on the food, while inside her chest a storm brewed. The humiliation wasn't new, but something about that particular insult, so cruel, so unnecessary, ignited a quiet determination in her. She decided then, tonight, she wouldn't let Daniel walk all over her. He had no idea what was coming. By 7:30, the living room buzzed with laughter. Claire's closest friends, couples from her book club and a neighbor or two, filled the house with warmth. Wine glasses clinked, stories were exchanged, and from the outside, everything looked perfect. Daniel played the charming host, pulling out chairs, pouring drinks, and cracking jokes. But Claire, sitting at the head of the table, carried Daniel's insult like a stone in her chest. She smiled when necessary, but her mind was elsewhere. Every time Daniel brushed her shoulder or made a performative compliment in front of the guests, she felt her face flush with anger. Halfway through dinner, the conversation turned to careers and personal achievements. One guest praised Daniel for his recent promotion at his firm. Daniel, clearly enjoying the attention, went on about how hard he worked and how much pressure he carried as the breadwinner. He even added with a smirk, "Claire just likes to keep busy with her marketing stuff, but it's not exactly life or death." The table laughed politely, but Claire caught a sympathetic glance from her best friend, Megan. And that was it, the breaking point. Claire set down her fork, took a sip of wine, and leaned forward. In a calm but steady voice, she said, "You know, Daniel, since you like to joke about my work, maybe you should tell everyone what you called me just an hour ago. Go ahead, tell them how you said your wife looked like a fat pig." The room went silent. Glasses froze midair. Daniel's confident grin evaporated, as if someone had slapped it off his face. He stammered, "Claire, that's not, come on, I was just..." But Claire didn't stop. "You humiliated me in my own kitchen, minutes before these people arrived. So if you want to show off tonight, why not show them all of you?" The guests were stunned. Megan's husband cleared his throat awkwardly. Someone shifted uncomfortably in their chair, but no one spoke in Daniel's defense. Instead, their silence became the loudest form of judgment in the room. Daniel's face turned crimson. He tried to laugh it off, muttering something about a bad joke, but the tension was unshakable. For the rest of the night, conversation limped along in fractured bursts. Claire, on the other hand, felt a weight lift. For the first time in years, she hadn't swallowed her humiliation. She had laid it bare for others to see, refusing to protect Daniel's ego at the expense of her own dignity. After the guests left, Daniel exploded. "You embarrass me in front of everyone. Do you know what you've done?" he shouted. But Claire, calm now, replied, "No, Daniel. You embarrass yourself. I'm done being your punching bag." She gathered the plates, ignoring his protests, and left him standing in the kitchen alone. That night, Claire slept in the guest room. She didn't cry. Instead, she replayed the evening in her mind, realizing she had taken back something Daniel had stolen from her for years, her voice. The next morning, Megan texted her, "I'm proud of you. Don't let him silence you again." Claire stared at the message, then looked out the window at the rising sun. For the first time in a long while, she felt a spark of freedom. She didn't know what the future held for her marriage, but she knew one thing for certain. Daniel would never see her as silent again.